Okay, everybody, this is your boy Trucker Leon back on YouTube. I'm going to go over a little bit of the pre-trip checklist that you need to do every time you pull off or before you pull off. When you're doing your pre-trip, you want to start from the front of your tractor and move your way around. When you're starting at the front of your tractor, you want to make sure that all your lights and reflectors are properly mounted and secured, clear for headlights, amber for other lights, working properly, not cracked or missing, no leaks, check for puddles, check for drips under the engine. And I made a video earlier with the brake system, and I messed up on the components of the brakes. So let me correct myself in talking about the brakes and what needs to be done with the brakes when you are doing your pre-trip. When you are doing your pre-trip for your brakes, you want to check for your hoses and your lines. Make sure they're properly mounted and secured, no leaking, not cracked or frayed. Your chamber, you want to make sure it's securely mounted, no missing nuts, bolts, not dented, no air leaking. Your slack adjusters. On your slack adjusters, when you're doing the pre-trip on your slack adjusters, you want to make sure they are securely mounted, not broken, loose, or missing parts. No more than 1 inch of free play at the push rod with the brakes released. Your drums, you want to make sure with your brake drums, not cracked, broken, or dented. No oil leaking from the inner oil seal, free of debris. Your brake linings, you want to make sure not cracked, broken, or missing parts, no less than 1/4 inch in thickness. Your drive wheels, you want to make sure they're properly inflated, company or manufacturer specification, condition, no bulges or cuts, can have retreads, proper tread depth, minimum 2/32 of an inch. Your rims, not cracked or bent, no welding repairs, lug nuts, no missing nuts, tight, no shiny threads or rusty trails. On your outer axle seal, no missing bolts, not leaking. Your space and your spacers, check for proper spacing, check for objects between wheels. On your coupling system, not broken, no missing parts. Release arm, not bent or broken, engaged in locked position. Locked rims, no missing or broken parts, engaged in the locking position. So that right there is a little bit of your pre-trip. Now back to the pre-trip on the brakes. You want to make sure when you're doing your brake check, your brake inspection, always remember there is a 4-point brake check when doing your inspection. There are, as I said, 4 steps to the 4-point brake check. Step 1, to check the air compressor governor cut out pressure. Increase the RPM to begin this step. Step 2, check the air leakage rate. On the air leakage rate, hold the brake in for 1 minute, checking that the pressure drops no more than 3 psi for a single vehicle and no more than 4 psi for a combination unit. Step 3, to check the low warning system. And on the low pressure system, the low air system, when it drops, it should not drop no more than 60 psi. Check that the low air pressure warning light and alarms activate. If they don't activate right away, that means you have a significant loss in air pressure in your brake system. And you do not want to move that truck whatsoever with no air in the brake system, because that is risking your life and it's risking the life of others. Step 4, which is the final step of the 4-point brake system, to check that the spring brakes work. Basically, you will pump the brake until the air pressure is between 20 and 45 psi, and look for both valves to move out. If in any case that you are doing your 4-point brake check, that your valve does not pop out, that means you have a significant loss in air pressure and you need to get that serviced as soon as possible. Like I said, you want to pump your brake. You want to pump your brake until the air pressure is between 20 and 40 psi. That is inside the 4-point brake check. Because when you go for your state testing, they are going to want you to do a 4-point brake check. If you do not do a 4-point brake check, whether it be for your state testing or whether it be DLT pulling you over and doing a 4-point brake check, if they find anything wrong within that brake system during that brake check, they will put you out of service until you get it fixed. So remember, the 4-point brake check is the most important part of that pre-trip on the brake system. With your hoses, you want to make sure they're all properly mounted, secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. Your drive wheels, you want to check those. You want to check your battery box. You want to check your catwalk, your drive shaft, your exhaust system, your frames, your utility lights, and reflectors. Your drive suspension, you want to check the control arm mounts, the control arm and torsion rod, your shock absorbers, your airbags. So that's pretty much kind of a little bit about the inspection and what you should expect to do when doing that. I will be on later today to give more information on your pre-trip. And yes, I'm reading from the book because I'm still learning, so y'all can learn right along with me. And then what I'll do is probably Saturday is come back on and read a little bit about straight line backing and offset backing to the right. So if y'all have any questions or anything, just let me know. Write it in the comments below, and I will get the book out and I will respond back to you from what the book says. So y'all have a good day.